Liverpool's season has taken a dramatic and potentially defining turn, and it's come at the worst possible time. Let's break this down in today's video. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Alisson Becker is officially set for a prolonged spell on the sidelines, with Arne Slot confirming that his number one will miss not only the immediate run of fixtures, but also both crucial clashes against Paris Saint-Germain. Even more concerning, his return is now penciled in for towards the end of the season. That timeline alone tells you everything. Liverpool are preparing to navigate the most critical stretch of their campaign without arguably their most reliable performer. The Brazilian picked up the injury following the emphatic 4-0 win over Galatasaray on March 18th, but since then, clarity has been minimal. Now the picture is clearer, and it's far from encouraging. Slot's update delivered ahead of a huge FA Cup quarter-final against Manchester City confirmed fears that this isn't a short-term setback. He will be out for a bit longer. Towards the end of the season, we expect him to be fit. With only a couple of months left in the campaign, that effectively rules Alisson out of the majority of the run-in, and that's where the real concern kicks in. Liverpool's ambitions are still alive on multiple fronts: the Champions League, the FA Cup, and a crucial push for a top 5 Premier League finish. But those ambitions will now rest heavily on the shoulders of Giorgi Mamardashvili. And here's the twist. While Mamardashvili has shown flashes of quality, the numbers raise questions. Just 2 clean sheets in 12 starts. Yes, those came in statement performances against Aston Villa and even Real Madrid, but consistency remains a major concern, especially in a system that demands composure, distribution, and control under pressure. Behind him, the situation gets even more fragile. Freddie Woodman, a 29-year-old with just 4 Premier League appearances and 0 Champions League experience, now steps in as the primary backup. That's a steep drop-off in experience at a time when Liverpool can least afford instability between the posts. And there's a wider issue here that can't be ignored. This latest setback marks Alisson's 4th spell out with injury or illness this season alone. While the club have shown faith by extending his contract until 2027, concerns over his long-term reliability are only growing louder. In other news, there are moments in a young player's career that feel cruelly timed. Flashes of promise cut short just as momentum begins to build. For Giovani Leone, that moment came almost instantly. His Liverpool debut against Southampton was meant to be the beginning of something exciting. Instead, it turned into the start of a long and demanding road back. The 19-year-old defender suffered a devastating ACL injury in that appearance, an issue that forced him into surgery in October 2025. It was a brutal setback, not just physically but mentally, halting his integration into a squad already packed with elite-level competition. However, fast forward 6 months, and the narrative is beginning to shift. From frustration to cautious optimism. Leone himself confirmed the success of the operation shortly after undergoing the procedure, and since then, his focus has been singular: recovery, progression, and return. Behind the scenes at Liverpool's AXA training centre, that work has been relentless. Recently, there have been encouraging signs. Images and updates showing the Italian back out on the grass, working with the ball, and rebuilding the sharpness that defined his brief but impressive introduction. This is no longer just rehabilitation, it's the transition phase, the point where a player begins to feel like a footballer again. According to reports emerging from Italy, Leone is now targeting a return to full-team training by the end of April. While Liverpool have yet to officially confirm that timeline, the suggestion alone highlights just how well his recovery has progressed. For an ACL injury, the general recovery window typically spans anywhere between 6 months and a full year, depending on the severity and the individual's response to treatment. If Leone does return within that earlier bracket, it would represent a significant medical and personal achievement. That said, Liverpool will not rush this. Under Arne Slot, the club has taken a measured and calculated approach to player fitness, particularly with younger talents. Leone may well rejoin group sessions before the season concludes, but the expectation internally is clear. First team minutes will wait. The real target is pre-season, where he can re-enter the fold properly, build rhythm, and compete without unnecessary risk. And context matters here. Liverpool have navigated the entire campaign without Leone, leaning heavily on the experience and durability of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate at centre-back. Meanwhile, Joe Gomez has battled his own fitness concerns while also being deployed out of position when needed. It has been a season of adaptation defensively, one where Leone's absence, though unfortunate, has not derailed the system. But the long-term picture tells a very different story. Liverpool are quietly preparing for a defensive transition. Gomez is approaching the final year of his contract, and uncertainty remains around Konate, whose current deal is edging closer to expiration without resolution. That creates space and opportunity. Leone is firmly part of that future. His debut, though short-lived, left a strong impression internally. Composed, aggressive, and technically assured, he showed glimpses of why Liverpool moved quickly to secure him. Those traits haven't disappeared. They've simply been waiting, refined through months of recovery work. And he won't be alone. Liverpool are also set to welcome Jeremy Jacquet, a highly rated centre-back arriving from Stade Rennais in a deal worth around £60 million. Add to that the arrivals of promising youngsters Moore Ndiaye and Ifeanyi Ndukwe, and it becomes clear this is a deliberate rebuild, not a reactive one. Leone's role in it could be significant. There's also an understated external factor working in Liverpool's favour. Italy's failure to qualify for the upcoming World Cup, while disappointing on a national level, removes a layer of pressure. There will be no temptation, no external demand to accelerate Leone's return for international duty. Instead, his recovery remains fully controlled within the club environment, a scenario that prioritizes longevity over urgency. For a 19-year-old coming off a serious knee injury, that could make all the difference. So while Leone's debut may have ended in heartbreak, his story at Liverpool is far from defined by it. If anything, this period may prove to be the foundation, the resilience-building chapter that shapes the player he becomes. The timeline is tightening. The return is getting closer. And when Giovani Leone finally steps back into full training, it won't just be another recovery milestone, it will feel like the true beginning. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.